Sex, life, and tech. If you're 21 or 101, we love them all. Welcome to Age Blind with Nancy AF.
Hey, boys and girls, welcome back to Age Blind, where the date on your birth certificate means shit, as I like to say. And we need to focus on what we have in common rather than what divides us. Although, as you'll hear in this episode, Helene, my dear, dear friend and amazing divorce attorney, is going to talk about some people that you probably don't have anything in common with, but it will entertain you and make you laugh and put you in a good mood for the holiday season, which is really what it's all about. And as we enter the holidays, my theme is switching from fear to gratitude and celebration. And why am I grateful for these two women? They are two of my oldest and dearest friends. Helene, I have known for, I don't even know how many years, like 20 maybe. We used to walk back in New York together. She knows all my deepest, darkest secrets, even though there is no attorney-client privilege because she's not my attorney. And Betsy, I've known one of my oldest friends, not old chronologically, but longest tenured friend in Arizona. We met on Facebook. We met cute when we both were like, are there any East Coasters here in the desert? And that's how we found each other. And now we kibitz, we gossip, we play bunco together and left, right, center. And if you don't know what that is, just Google it or ask AI. But two wonderful women. And the other thing that they have in common is they are among my Age Blind podcast all-stars, meaning their episodes are among the highest trafficked episodes that I've recorded out of close to 200 episodes. So you go, girls. And very, very, very different. Betsy owns a professional organizing business called Clutter Busters, and Helene, as we know, is a matrimonial attorney. So why am I bringing them together today? And then I will stop talking and let these two wonderful women share their stories. Is as we enter the holiday season, you see in the media and on Hallmark channels that the world is light and bright and happy, but we all know that the holiday season is also full of a lot of stress and bullshit. And I just looked up some statistics that are really powerful, and I just picked out the three that I think are the most relevant to our conversation. 38% of people miss their family over the holiday. 22% experience or anticipate family conflict. So if you don't miss them and you're hanging out with them, you're not having a good time. And then 20% feel left out or excluded. And so that's kind of sad. And then, so our theme today is avoiding holiday messes. So I'm just going to start with Betsy because, as we all know, we like to festoon our homes over the holidays. Betsy and I were just at somebody's house last week, and she had decorated the entire house for Halloween.
Right.
An anal compulsive woman that I am, all I kept thinking about was, oy, someone's going to have to put all of this stuff away.
You asked her even. You were like, where does this all go?
So how do you make sure, Betsy, that your house doesn't become overly messy before, during, and after the holidays? Because you are the queen of throwing your shit away, as your last episode was called.
Right. Well, it's all like in the preparation. Now it's the beginning of the whole holiday season. So now it's like a really good time to like start planning, maybe start decluttering your house, maybe getting some room ready just in case, new presents are coming in, and just really prepping and getting ready so that when the time comes for the holidays, you're not stressed. You've already thought things through. As an example, let's say you're having Thanksgiving and that's only in a couple weeks. You can start now making lists of what do I need to do 3 weeks out before Thanksgiving, 2 weeks out, 1 week out, 1 hour, 15 minutes, everything in between. And then if you have it, I'm a list person, so that's, for me, it works because I like to put lists for everything. But then it makes it so you don't forget things. And if you don't forget things, then you're not stressed out. So preparation.
And Helene, now I'm going to bounce over to you, because one of the things you and I talked about is if you're going through a divorce or you're contemplating a divorce, you brought up something that I really hadn't thought about because my kids were grown when I was going through my divorce, is what can you do as you're getting divorced to make sure that there aren't massive fights about who gets the kids over the holidays?
I think that the more specific you are and the more agreements that you have with reference to who gets which holiday, as I said, so specific, where you talk about what day, what time, there's less room for argument. Now, there are people like yourself, Nancy, who get along and can speak with people and talk to people, but that's really, really, like I would say, less than 1%. Most of my clients, although 20 or 30% can talk, the more specific you are, let's say, now, with regard to, let's say, Christmas and Thanksgiving, sometimes people alternate each holiday each year. So one person will get Thanksgiving and one person would get Christmas vacation. Other people split the holiday. Sometimes one parent would get Thursday and Friday, or they could split Thursday, or one parent could get half of Christmas. And people who really enjoy Christmas, someone gets Christmas Eve and then someone gets Christmas Day, and then they alternate. And or you can have the entire vacation and alternate every year. It depends what your taste is. My only comment is the more specific you are, the less fighting there will be at that time. Although it's my busiest time right before the holidays because everybody fights.
I know,
Excuse me,
I know.
most everybody fights.
Yeah, and my advice, and this is not legal advice, and what Helene is saying is not legal advice either. But mine is not really not legal advice because I didn't even go to law school. But what I would say as a single woman, the best thing you could do over the holidays if you do suffer from loneliness or depression is to make plans to do something fun and to stay off social media because the last thing you want to see is your ex-spouse taking somebody to Europe or frolicking in the snow. So just like celebrate the holidays with your girlfriends in your own head, whatever brings you joy, do that. Because if you ruminate about missing people or you go to places that you don't really want to be, it'll only make things messier. So
Or
Betsy, I get
or even like set up new traditions. Now, like if you're now newly separated or alone during the holiday, it's trying to figure out a new tradition. Okay, this is how it was before, but now this is my life now, and this is what I'm going to do now, whatever that tradition may be, whether, going to the movies or going to a play or whatever it may be.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And Betsy, I get this question all the time when I talk about NAPO and professional organizers. They go, what the hell is a professional organizer and why do I need one? Like you just said, you're very good at making lists. Even
Mm-hmm.
though I'm really good at making lists, there's a lot of stuff I don't like to do myself. So what do professional organizers actually do?
Well, and people hire an organizer for different reasons. It could be, yes, you know what to do, but you're busy and you don't have time to do it. So that's one type of client that we may have. Another may be that they just don't see things that way. They don't see a room that it's supposed to be organized and they literally don't have that in their mindset of how to do it. So there's a lot of different types of clients that we have. But basically we help people get organized and it's no cookie cutter approach. What works for me may not work for you. We were just talking about this. Like I like things pretty and color coded and and very nice. And some people are like, I don't care about that. So there's no cookie cutter approach. So we try to figure out with the clients what's going to work for them. Setting up systems, setting up processes, making the space run more smoothly, but basically that they can maintain it themselves, like when we're not there. But we need to come in and help them make those decisions. And it's always easier when there's someone else there and saying, like, excuse me, why is this here? And your answer would be like, oh, I don't know. It's always been there. Okay, well, maybe we can move it.
Yeah. I mean, my organizer, when I moved to my new apartment, set up my storage unit, and all of my holiday stuff is in a box labeled holiday stuff.
Right,
And now I just have to take that box, move it down the hall into my apartment.
right.
At the end of the season, I pack it up and I put it back. And, some people like bags, some people like boxes, some people like shelves, some people like hanging things on the wall. To your point, you've got to like figure out what works for each person. But
Mhm.
like a lot of things in our business lives, we delegate things to other
Yeah,
people.
it's just
Organizing, if you hate to do it or if you don't know where to begin, it's a godsend, especially around the
people,
holidays.
yeah, people outsource cleaning people, interior decorators, everything. So this is just one more thing that people outsource all the time.
Yeah,
It's
because
not.
you can't make more time. Time
No,
is precious.
exactly.
So speaking of time and the preciousness of time, um, Helene has some doozies of stories of people who have a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of time to make conflict and a lot of time to make rules. And one of the most popular episodes, well, she's been on a couple of times, and we've discovered looking at the analytics, is that her celebrity divorce stories are among the most popular content that we put out there. And we have no shortage of content. The same way there's no shortage of holiday decorations and ornaments, there's always somebody who's breaking up with somebody, and there's a lot of money involved. So Helene hit it. What is the latest and
Well,
greatest?
the latest and greatest is the Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban divorce. And it only hit a couple of weeks ago. So they were married 19 years. According to People magazine and E! News, Nicole didn't want to get divorced, and Keith had a little piece on the side, much younger. She tried to keep it together. And again, those are pretty good sources. People, Page 6 and E! News, so I would say that those are reputable because I also, have other sources. And she couldn't keep it together, allegedly, because what's the name of your podcast? And what is your brand, Nancy? Tell me.
Age blind.
No, and sex, tech, and
sex, tech, and life across the
Okay,
generations.
well, the word is that there was no sex. And so Keith said, this isn't working for me. And he moved out at the beginning of the summer. So what they did is they filed in Nashville, Tennessee, by the way, at the beginning of September. And although we only found out about it a week ago, it's been in the works for a while. Irreconcilable differences. And in New York, you don't do it at the same time, but they also filed a child support agreement and a parenting plan. Now, that's not juicy, but I will talk about the holidays. The major holidays are going to be split. So the parent with alternating who has the children with the major vacations every year. So what they're going to do is they're going to take Christmas. One person will have it one year and one person will have it the other year. Thanksgiving, they will alternate. Anyway, that's the word. But the most juicy part of this is that they have what's called a cocaine or sobriety clause. So for every year that Keith was sober, Nicole has to pay him $600,000. Now, if you add up all those years that he was sober, she owes him $11.4 million. Now, this has really been published all over, and she's really not very happy about that. But again, that's in their prenup, and it was 19 years ago. Sobriety clauses are not common, but yet they do exist. I just wanted to say,
didn't I tell you it was as juicy as a big Christmas turkey, which I don't think Nicole Kidman has ever eaten. That woman is so skinny, it makes me nervous. I want to sit on her and feed her a hamburger.
But I've watched a lot of her movies this year, and she had a lot of very sexed up movies this year. She had
Baby Girl,
like a 20-year-old, and and that was juicy movie. Did you see that movie?
Yes, Baby Girl.
Word.
Yep.
Then she was in another movie, all sexed up this year. So she's not having sex with Keith, but I don't know what she's doing on.
You want to say, Betsy, maybe all of these other, these other episodes and what she's doing with, with her movies are really satisfying her need. But the other thing is their scheduling also. Their scheduling has also been a problem. As you said, she was in 2 big movies. I know that she was also in a series. And, it's very hard to hold a marriage together when you know each other.
So aren't we all glad that we are not Hollywood superstars or rock stars? Like, I'm just so grateful this holiday season. And I'm grateful that I didn't get on The Golden Bachelor. Betsy, you and I have talked about that a lot.
Right, yeah. Yeah. I know. It would have had a lot of good gossip, though. I would have liked to.
I know, but I would not have wanted to celebrate the holidays with that man. So.
No, that's true.
All right. Helene, any other juicy holiday gossip? This is better than a Hallmark movie.
Well, there are 2 others. They're really not juicy because the details, it's too early really for the details to have come out. But of course, Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco had a very, very airtight, watertight prenup. Because she's worth over $1 billion and he's worth about 60. The things they concentrated on were her music catalog, which is worth $400 million, her makeup company, and her real estate. The last one is, of course, Taylor Swift and Kelsey. They're just talking about it because obviously she just became engaged, and I really don't have a lot of detail. But the other thing that really came out that was really a little crazy was, I don't know if people have seen Kim Kardashian has come out with all of these problems that have come up because of the way she and Kanye got divorced. The first thing she says is she has Stockholm syndrome. What is that? She felt like that she always felt really bad and she always protected him no matter what he did. She had health issues. She needed to protect their children, causing her a brain aneurysm. She says that her divorce and the stress caused by Kanye gave her a brain aneurysm. You really cannot make this up. Okay. And the last,
Right.
right. And what's it called? And she has a podcast called Call Her Daddy. Do you know about
Yeah.
that? And she described her marriage as toxic and
Uh-huh.
lacking stability. And of course, co-parenting is very difficult with him because he never agrees about anything anywhere. They constantly make false claims on social media. She says it's a divorce, not a kidnapping, which is what he keeps calling it. And she also says that he's not consistently involved in the children's lives. If you decide to pop in once every month or once every few weeks, it's really difficult for the kids. And now she
Mhm.
says that she's prioritizing her own happiness, whatever that means.
But the moral of all of this is if you're feeling really shitty over the holidays, or you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling sad about something, then just, read some of these wackadoodle celebrity stories and you'll say, well, glad I'm not in that bucket and that the only thing I'm worried about is that my spouse brought the kids home 10 minutes too late, or it's March and I still haven't put away the Christmas tree. What are you, and not to put you on the spot, because I know this wasn't on our pre-prepared questions, but we're about to wind down. Is there anything in particular that you're both looking forward to this holiday season?
Hmm.
I for New
Well,
Year's.
I what
So for New Year's, I'm going to Panama City.
did she say?
Cool.
Yes, my sister. I travel with my sister and brother-in-law. I'm
Ooh.
a widow. We are going to Panama City on December 29th, so we will spend New Year's there, maybe at the Panama Canal. And they allegedly have some kind of crazy, unbelievable firework thing. And so I'm very excited.
And Betsy, what about you?
I'm just excited. I love the lights that they have in the Scottsdale area and going to see people's houses lit up and just the festivities that are all around. I just love that. And I think, Arizona really makes it special during that time. And obviously coming up soon, actually right after this, I'm gonna start doing my Halloween decorations and get ready for that.
And we talked about Bunko and Left, Right, Center. There will be festivity themes for the upcoming Bunko and Left, Right, Center games, which is
Well,
always exciting.
what I love is like when Bunko in December we do like a crazy Christmas sweater. And I like that because I don't celebrate Christmas, so it's kind of fun. I feel like, it's me doing something that is really fun, wearing a kooky, holiday sweater and the ugly sweater contest and stuff. So I'm excited about that too. And the white elephant, always fun.
Yeah, and that's always a mood booster. I just did a photo shoot yesterday. I did a 50 over 50 shoot with a woman named Shelley Franklin 5 years ago, and
Mhm.
she was doing it again this year. And I'm like, what the hell? I'll do another shoot, same outfits, different color hair. 5 years later, 40 pounds lighter, and I'm going to put the shots side by
Right, yeah,
side. And there's nothing like getting a professional shoot to make you feel better about yourself. Little
right.
hair, makeup,
Yeah,
zhuzhing
yeah.
up, posing,
100.
you feel like a supermodel.
Yeah.
So I am so grateful for both of you, having you in my lives and having you on my podcast. If
Yes.
people want to have their decorations organized, taken down, decluttered, how can they reach you, Betsy? I know you work primarily in the Washington, D.C.,
So
Maryland,
we're in,
Virginia
yeah,
area.
DC, Maryland, and Virginia. You can find me on clutterbusters.com or on Facebook at Clutterbusters. Anything that says Clutterbusters or Betsy Fine, just Google and you'll find me.
All right. And Helene, what about you?
Well, you could find me if you just Google Helene at brickhabitlaw.com where there's no hyphen. I guess you could find me there, or I don't know how else other than Helene at brickhabitlaw.com.
That's totally fine. So, obviously, if you're listening to this or watching it, you found me already.
Mhm.
But Feel free to scroll back and watch or listen to any of our other holiday episodes. It's a great activity over the holiday season at the gym while you're lying in bed instead of doom
Right.
scrolling. It will make you laugh. It hopefully will not make you cry. And I always aspire to be entertaining, inspirational, or educational. And hopefully this has been all three. So again, very grateful for all of you, for
Thank
both
you.
of you. And regardless of what you're doing this holiday season, respect your elders, respect your youngers. In other words, respect all people, no matter what side of the political fence they're on, no matter how much they may have driven you crazy in past years. It's a season of peace and love. I'm feeling very, very chill this holiday season. So
Yes.
happy holidays to you all and peace out.